Okay, boys. It's a little bit overdue to see where Soul Survivors is at. Hardpoint Soul Survivors, Starwrecked Survivors. What are we calling it? I got good work done this weekend. A lot of it was systems and UI based stuff. You'll see the UI has taken a little bit of a jump forward, at least to something less basic. Um, excuse me. So let's get it booted up. Right now, the build is 174 megabytes, which is nice and small. Now, it's going to go up as I add more audio and assets, but as far as the base goes, that's about as small as Unity can make them. So, excuse me. Let's see. So here's our base menu. I should have gotten my trackpad. Oh well. Let me make some space. Ignore that. I don't know what the heck that is. So I do have my to-do list is baked right into this file so I can keep accessing it. I didn't get to modeling the boss yet. We were just a little bit too busy today, so that's going to be something for this week. I've got a couple big things. I got to get shield gen reworking again. Ammo pickups. It technically exists in the code. It doesn't work correctly though because I changed the orientation of the code flow. Not going to get into the nitty gritty. Just trust me. It works backwards, and I'm going to fix it, which will allow me to create animal spawning stations, which is part of building a bigger map that kind of pushes you to explore a little bit. And I want to create health fills. And then next week, one thing I want to update is giving the hardpoint sensitivity to whether or not there's enemies in proximity, and just have them pause if there's no enemies around. Because sometimes there's downtime and it's weird when they fire unnecessarily. So it's just going to be like a sphere check every 3 seconds, maybe. And if there's nothing nearby, it'll just go on standby. So that's something I'm going to experiment with. I might I might have to make a module for it that has like a giant sphere, and the sphere only interacts with the character layer, which is more performant. But I'll show you in a second. The stats on this are looking pretty good right now for where we're at. And I actually do have the weapon and hardpoint icons in. I think I got to double check one area, but this might actually be done. Um, at least to our prototype alpha phase. Everything can be made better. So later in November, I got to get the captain and the marine models in the game. Right now, they're just the Y bots. One has a mustache that is just a box on his head, and then the other one has like a chest plate that's a box on his chest plate. But they are, for all intents and purposes, the same thing with different colors. So there's no custom animations, nothing. And you'll notice also the animations are a little bit wacky. So I got to get the right now the XP orbs are being pulled by the experience tracker, which is again backwards. I got to fix that, and then I need to get the input handler on the right component because it's going to cause some issues downstream if I don't fix that. For where we're at in development, it's a moot point. I've never coded it the other way, but I have been reading about some of the problems that it can cause if it's not in the right spot. So I'm going to move it to where it should be, which will also allow me to use that for UI driven stuff with a controller. So that's nice. And then in December, save load system. This is partly built right now. I did it today. I laid out what the game save file should look like. Game save data. So you can see I've got first time deployed, most recent deployment. That's just a date time struct. The number of deployments, total survive time, total kills, and then times deployed. You might be looking at it going, why would you track that? Achievements, Steam achievements specifically. So I basically need to be forward thinking in how I engineer systems. So these are all the different fields that it can write to. I'm also thinking about a narrative based idea for collecting some of these resources that's not just like a random you explored enough and you found this cool little thing. So I have these idea for thorium pellets and xenoflesh samples collected. That maybe if we want to do a little bit more of a narrative element rather than just always randomly roguelighting your way through, but like we're doing something with what we collect, we could do that. So I built that in. It affects nothing if we decide not to. And I did start to build a game data manager, but whoops, as you can see, it's still all stubs. So eventually this will be able to read and write to a JSON file, which is a very performant string based file so that you can store the unlocks. And there's a connection here between the game save data and the type here, and that's because if it can't find it, it'll create a new save. That kind of persistence is not necessary for prototyping though right now. Um, that'll be necessary later on. So maybe early 2026. I want to do some simple unlocks, characters, levels, excuse me, but that will come once I've had some other people play test the basics and just let me know, hey, is this absolute dog water or not? And then I have some collectible resources. These are ideas I want to talk about with you guys. So it doesn't look like there's a lot there, but one of the things that I need to do is build a level out a little bit more. That'll probably take me a couple days because I don't have a lot of models. I've only been modeling exactly what I need when I need it. So it's got to compile because I moved one line. Great. What's null? Okay, that's an editor thing. Should ignore that. Oh, you know what? I can't find the plastic SCM editor. I gotta fix that. And it's telling me I'm not using the orbit mechanic face outward. I need to strip that because it doesn't matter. And the on special event doesn't matter yet, although the queen ant will make that a little bit more useful. So it's going to be used, just not yet. So, okay. Let's boot this up. I'm going to turn my MacBook down because the music can be a little bit loud at first. But I do have music loaded in. So this is what it looks like when you first boot it. You can hear there's some music going in the background. Let's turn that down. Now that's not persistent because there's no settings yet. It'll reset in a second. But as you can tell, these actually work. I have a little bit of work going on here. We can hit return. We can hit quit. This is very basic stuff right now. Hit start. Okay, so now let's do this navigation with just the keyboard. So keyboard works, mouse hovering works, mouse clicking works, keyboard tapping works. So you can see it is loading in different stats down here. I haven't decided how I want to display the loadout stuff yet because we moved away from giving them initial hard points. Maybe it's moot. Maybe I need to remove it. I haven't decided. So Captain and Marine are the Y-bots. Security is our big boy. And then I have these are general ideas I put together. There's nothing there. I haven't built any of this. I just built it so I could test a menu because this is a grid. So the grid arranges these things for me. I don't have to do it. The code manages it. So the only one we have is Crash Point. You wake up on a cold alien surface that smells faintly of wet newspaper. This needs to get darker. I haven't done any kind of graphic work. This is all basic stuff that I threw together in Affinity using... I did like a 20-minute look-see at some Star Trek stuff. So if I hit it, we're in the game. A couple things you can notice right away. There's a gun icon. It's a little bit stretched because I haven't played with it. There's a total number of ammo. He's animated, but you'll notice his legs. There's something up with the way that the animation exported, and I didn't fix it because I just have other things to do. It basically functions. That's all we needed to know. And right now, there's a single threat indicator, although, good lord, they're really coming at me. Okay, so here's our first unlock. Notice I didn't even adjust the font in any of this. It's the sci-fi font up here, whatever. Let's unlock Thumper, which works now. Ooh, we leveled up real quick. And we'll update our rating, even though it doesn't do a whole lot yet. Okay. So they will keep shooting at me as long as I'm within a certain cone. You can see that guy gets a little bit upset, but once I get out of his cone, he starts rotating. If I stop, though, he'll start shooting at me again. So let's take some damage. So you can see they're chewing on me real bad. Okay, now if I move away from this group and let them start hitting me again, notice that up here it is going down. So I gotta prosecute the Xeno. Back you animals. Okay, and I'll fix my health with the level up, because right now there's no health pickup. You can shoot their projectiles out of the air, which is not something I want to continue to happen. Alright, he died. Okay. I can reload by hitting R, and it reloaded up there. Now notice it's still firing. And actually, let me show you a funny physics thing. So if I'm walking this way, it doesn't project very hard. But if I'm walking backwards, it goes way further. So there's a little bit of an issue there that I need to address. I'm not totally sure how to handle it. Oh, get out of here. So I've decided to stick to the persistence on the backpack of the suits. I don't have the new model in yet. I wanted to texture it with the Art Deco wings like Hugh suggested. They might be getting tougher. Maybe, I don't know. The Thumper took care of that one for sure. Eat it. Oh! He didn't explode right. Wonder if that's a more common problem or what. But I mean, we're pretty stable. And take a look at the stats. We're up at 250. We're losing frames. Back up to 300 now. Let's see. Let's boost our shields back up. So frames going back up, mid 300s. We're rocking 30,000 triangles at the moment. That does keep going up, I think, because they're not being properly destroyed. There we go. Verts, it's coming down, so we're only taking up 10 megabytes. DSP loads, stream loads looking pretty good. This is possibly the longest I've actually played it. So I'm glad to see that's not dropping much lower. We might have a little bit of a memory leak going somewhere, though. And now we're on a pause because this has changed. So it looks like it's... I don't know, I can't tell if it's going up or down. CPU main is at 3 to 4 in the thread. It seems to be okay to me. Pretty stable at 200 frames a second. 250 frames a second. I don't know if anything else is going to spawn here, to be honest with you. Oh, yep, we got some. And we're back up in the 300 frames a second, which is interesting. I think I'm going to turn the plasma pistol into a semi-automatic that just shoots really slow. It is kind of annoying to pull the trigger over and over again. Also, I'm thinking... I don't know, there's something going on with some of them not dying the right way with the blood splatter. I wonder if there's a... Whoops. Shoot! Oh, I haven't had a level up in a while. That sucks. Oh, this keeps happening. They get stuck in the wall sometimes. Yeah, we're sitting pretty up there at 300-ish frames a second. We brought the tries down significantly as well. That's a good sign. I do have some of these balls that aren't destroying the way that they should. I think it's because of this variable damage FX is going wrong. So I need to find a way to fix that. But, I mean, yeah, look at this. We're sitting up here in the high 200s. We're at 5 minutes. I do believe that was the last of the... I do believe that was the last of them. Let's see. Level manager. Well, maybe not. I don't really think we need to go farther than that. I mean, this kind of shows off the general idea. So... if I start, we'll play as the captain, different weapon now. This is the laser beam. You can notice that animations are not synced up at the hips. And with one agility pickup, I'm a lot faster than they are. I just gained 10%. Alright, let's see. Afterburner. Get cooked. I haven't been up here forever. Forgot all about this. So what happens if I just let him die? Let's see. Just let him absorb some damage here. Oh, we're doing good on the CPU thread. That's pretty low. Can't help myself. All right, watch. Game over. So right now, the data is there, but it's not pushing properly. I haven't really worked on it extensively, but it is there, and I can quit and go back to the menu. Go get the Marine. Now we have an assault rifle. Does way more damage, probably more damage than it needs to. Defense projector turns into basically a rotating hammer. And it doesn't stop them, but I have in mind a system I can write that can cause that to trigger a slowdown effect. I just have to finish writing it. Oh yeah, these guys are throwing the same error over and over again. I guess I didn't put a damage FX on them. So, yeah, that's the system. You can see there's a different... let's give me another one of those. You can see that there's a different icon up here. We're sitting at 250-ish frames a second. It's got to do a little bit more work animating those guys. But back to 300. And the music changes too when the waves change. I don't know if you noticed that. The system that I have mocked out for that is fairly simple. It is a level audio manager. And what it does is it just reads from these different level main menu audio. So if there are music levels in those threat regions, then it'll play them. So and I can toggle those on different levels. So each level can have its own level album, so to speak. I'm using music that I have a right to as well through Ovani. I purchased it. So I mean, that's kind of it. I know it's not a lot, but there's a lot going on under the hood. Hopefully you can see that enables this to run pretty seamlessly. You know, I got to do a little bit more work on this particular weapon, the Axion Fluxer. But when it does work, it's neat because you get that sustained blast. And pairing it with something like the Thumper that takes care of things that are kind of in the mid-range is neat, especially with navigation. So now we've got two. It is random which ones you get, and I want to have a weapon upgrade option in there as well at some point. But right now there's like a 1 in 2 chance that you get a hardpoint upgrade versus a stat upgrade. Sometimes it's just faster to zap them with the afterburner. Let's see. Yeah, we'll improve that afterburner. And how that system works too needs some work, but I don't know. I feel like I've shown off enough here. We're sitting pretty over here. That's a lot of frames. We're doing good. So there are ways I can make this more performant too. I don't have object pooling working yet, although I'm going to work on that. And I don't have. I've got some instantiation, unnecessary duplication of instantiated objects fairly often that I need to work on. So when I do that, I'm a little bit conservative at breaking a bunch of fields that I have set. I don't 100% know if that will happen. But I just need to be careful. So I probably have a script audit coming up one of these next weekends when I go through, take a look at this, all of these scripts. This is what makes the game tick. And I can do count. How do I do this again? What are my extensions called? Code counter. It's been a while. Let me let's ask Jippity here. How do I make VS code counter count lines? Count lines. Search for dot. What? No, that's not what I want. Yeah. Shift X, search for VS code counter. Command Shift P. There it is. We are at 10,917 lines of code at the moment. So there is a lot that I have to go through, and there are areas like, I can probably pick one at random. Melee hitbox. No, not that one. Not that one for sure. Mm, character sheet. Huh. Attack manager. Well, I don't know. They are in here. That's one of the problems that I need to deal with. So I'm going to have to look through it and see if it can be made more performant. But that is a good mid range goal. So once you guys have gotten a chance to play this, once I've gotten, oops, nope, I was in the right app. Once I've gotten these things done, I will be able to share the demo and have you guys play test it for me and let me know if it's dog shit. So at that point, then it would really make sense to do a cleanup audit and start to boil down some of those systems to make sure that they function as performantly as possible. But in the meantime, I think we're doing okay. So I'm going to get out of here and go to bed because I got the gym at 5:30 in the morning.